Okay, so let's see how many of you got close in your guess. So out of the 50 states, Utah is 50th. Now that's good news. That means we consume per capita less alcohol than any other state. That's great news. But now for the rest of the story. If any of you have ever heard of the radio show that used to be Paul Harvey, he would always say, and now for the rest of the story. Now, let's say you take away all those who do not drink in Utah and all those who do not drink in all other states, and then just take those who drink and how much each of those people drink or consume. Then where does Utah rank? Interesting thing is, then we move clear up to 16th. We go from 50th to 16th when we talk about when we just take those who drink in every state and how much each drinker consumes. So what does that mean when it comes to alcohol? What do we know about Utah drinkers? They have a real problem with binge drinking. And that's what I'd like to talk about for a minute. What is binge drinking? Binge drinking is 4 to 5 drinks in one setting. Well, what's a setting? That's when you sit down to drink. It could be 15, 20 minutes. It could be a couple of hours. So 4 to 5 drinks in that setting when you're sitting down to drink, when you're drinking, and you have 4 or 5 drinks in that one setting, that's considered binge drinking. Now, what's considered a drink, you can see is 1 12-ounce can of beer or 1 5-ounce glass of wine or 1 shot, about 1.5 ounces of liquor, or a 16-ounce wine cooler. Now, why the difference in ounces? It depends on the percentage of alcohol in each drink. So, for example, liquor would have a much higher percentage of alcohol in it, which is why it's just 1.5 ounces as opposed to a 12-ounce can of beer that doesn't have quite as much, quite as high of a percentage of alcohol in it. Now, when we go back to talking about binge drinking and that Utah has a real problem with binge drinking, what does that mean? When we drink a lot in a short amount of time, that means it's going to affect our brain, our left side of the brain. Remember, we talked about that more quickly. And so that judgment, that logic, that inhibition, the ability to judge time, all those things are affected much more quickly and more severely, not to mention the fact that when you binge drink, your body's feeling the effects that much more quickly, which means it's going to be that much more addicting. But let's talk about, since binge drinking is such a problem in our state, and our judgment and logic and inhibitions are inhibited so much, what does that mean? So we're going to talk about a few items of how alcohol affects our society. Now, these statistics you're going to see are for the United States. But if Utah is about the 16th highest amount of alcohol consumed per drinker, then that would mean these statistics would definitely apply to Utah also. So let's go through some statistics showing how alcohol affects our society.